My name is Frances Castadice, and I'm president of the Houston East End Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor to welcome you to our business webinar. Today is August 11th, and we've got a great program for you. We're very honored to have BakerRipley here. They do not only work with the community, but they work with entrepreneurs in the community, and these are just some of the benefits that they have to offer us during this COVID-19 period. Their topic today is going to be a toolbox for entrepreneurs, and we're very honored to have Estella Gonzales, the Director of Education and Opportunity. We have Ashley Sheppard, Senior Manager of Small Businesses, and we have Nini Gutierrez, Small Business Coach. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Wonderful. Well, this is really a great opportunity for us to share all the things that BakerRipley are doing in the entrepreneur world. So we're going to start with Estella, and then we're going to have Ashley, and then Nini's going to help close. Make sure that if you're out there to put your questions in the chat room or the Q&A area, and we'll come back together and answer those questions. Thank you so much, and take it away, Estella.
Thank you, Frances. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to talk to you all about BakerRipley and our Entrepreneur Connection program. So just a quick overview about BakerRipley. For those of you who've been in Houston for a while, our name used to be Neighborhood Centers. It's changed, so now it's BakerRipley. And we were founded in 1907. It's pretty fitting that we're with the East End Chamber right now because we were actually founded in the East End. Our very first center was Ripley House. I actually grew up down the street, so I was a Ripley House kid, but we did start there in the East End in 1907, so that was 113 years ago. We started at that time as a settlement house movement. We were founded by Alice Graham Baker. And during that time, the settlement house movement was going on in the U.S. And in Texas, we were serving a lot of the immigrants that were coming over from Mexico during the Mexican Revolution. So as there was getting a lot of influx of immigrants into the community, a lot of change was happening in the East End area. So BakerRipley started offering services like adult education, childcare, and also ESL classes. So even though we started 113 years ago, we still have the same mission today, and that's to bring resources, education, and connection to emerging neighborhoods. Now, I like to say that's pretty much the same mission with our Entrepreneur Connection program. We really focus on filling gaps in the ecosystem of small business. Here on the screen, you can see some pictures of our entrepreneurs. We started in about 2014 to have some conversations with neighbors, with partners to see what really were the gaps in entrepreneurship. One of the things that we were really focused on in the beginning, and still to this day, is that we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to provide a unique service and really fill a gap in our communities. So that gap that we identified was really working with Spanish-speaking entrepreneurs, and also working kind of more, we like to call them the mom and pop shops. So we did not focus on a specific industry. I know there's a lot of great entrepreneur support organizations in Houston that focus on tech or medical, but we would like to say we don't focus on an industry. We're really focused on just helping entrepreneurs that need that extra support. And we started with just exclusively Spanish-speaking services, but I will speak a little bit more later on about how we've now expanded our services. So these are some entrepreneurs from our very first cohort. I still remember them. It was back in 2015. It was our very, very first class. We started our classes really focused on just the basics of entrepreneurship in Spanish. And we were actually also teaching folks how to start businesses in this country. We were serving immigrant entrepreneurs at the time, so we were teaching them about like banking in the U.S., regulations, a lot of conversations with the city of Houston and permitting, Harris County and the permitting process, just the basics of education. And for those of you who are familiar with Gulfton, that was where our very first pilot class started. It is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the country, not just the city. So we started in Gulfton, and we started serving entrepreneurs there and really seeing a great need for that service. And then at the same time, as we were piloting classes in Gulfton, we were in the middle of a capital campaign for our newest community center in East Aldine. And at BakerRipley, we use an appreciative inquiry approach. And basically that just means that we really take a strength-based approach to working in our communities. And we want to get to know the community before we build a community center. We always say we build the community first before we build the community center. So in 2015, 2016, we started having conversations with entrepreneurs in Allen, and that's an area in North Houston. Here on the screen, you'll see some of the data that we got back from those conversations that we had with neighbors. These are actually just a quote from one of the neighbors that we talked to about what it was like, why they wanted to start a business and what kind of support they needed. Here on the left side, you can see it is asking people what it is that they are most important to them to start their business. And this is just getting some feedback from the entrepreneurs about what is most important to them. So we use this information to kind of build our program. We're just starting at a time. So with that information, we were able to really focus on the needs, such as improving credit profile was at the very top, mentoring one-on-one was at the very top. And then we noticed the things that weren't as important to them. For example, at the very bottom, we noticed that office space was not as important. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't doing things that the community didn't want. Next slide. Here are just some more pictures about our work in East Alden. We very focused in working with partners in the area. We were actually hosted for the first year because we did not have a building yet. We were hosted the first year at the East Alden Management District. We had classes there. These photos are also while we provide services at a local church. We started providing classes at St. Leo's Church. So just being really a big part in the community there, making sure that we were working with partners. Next slide. So since then, we've come quite a long way. We started to add to the team as well. We grew as staff and then grew more of our services as well. As I mentioned before, one of the things is just making sure that we were providing the services that we needed. So here it's just talking a little bit more about our data and the impact that we've had. So in 2019, we had served over 2,000 individuals. Our classes, we have education classes. You'll hear a little bit more about that from Ashley. We had 90 individuals complete those classes. And our technical assistance hours are our coaches that are providing one-on-one assistance. So we're very proud of also tracking the important economic indicators such as businesses accessing capital and then businesses launched and also the full-time jobs and part-time jobs that are created. So since the very beginning of the program that I spoke about, since 2015 through the end of last year, we have launched 34 new businesses in the Houston, greater Houston area and created 137 new jobs. So this is just talking a little bit more about our impact. And next up, we'll have Ashley, who's going to be talking more about our program and the work that we do.
All right. Next slide. Awesome. So our academy classes. So this, like Estella was saying earlier, the academy classes were one of the first programs that we actually started with our program. So we have two different components. Our first one is our launch class, and that's for any individuals who are looking to start up. So any ideas. And then our grow class is anyone who has been in business for 6 months or longer, looking to like formalize their business, grow their business, etc. Those are specifically in Spanish. We designed that specifically to be culturally relevant, specifically to Hispanic immigrant entrepreneurs. That was something that was very important to us, making sure that we were serving that need. Those do have fees to it. So the launch class is $50, grow class is $100. And then the Kaufman class, Kaufman Fast Track class, that's actually a class that we started last year. So that was the first time we had actually done a class specifically in English. We were getting a lot of need from the community. Community members were really wanting us to do something specifically in English. All of the classes run from 7 to 10 weeks, and they are hosted every Saturday. And so entrepreneurs really have this opportunity to to learn from a business expert, but to also learn in a cohort style to engage with other entrepreneurs in the community, and really kind of have that close-knit group, and that peer-to-peer support, which was very important when we were building out this curriculum. And you can go to the next slide. Technical assistance. So technical assistance was something that really bloomed out of the classes. So we decided to grow this class, and it really just kind of grew organically. A lot of the entrepreneurs were really needing that one-on-one coaching and that technical assistance. So we have 3 coaches that are on staff that specifically do this. And they help everyone from marketing and social media, startup support, accessing funding, industry research, business planning, financial literacy. And we also do a lot of referral out to partners. So we work with a lot of partners throughout Houston, business support organizations, but also just experts like accountants, lawyers, marketing specialists, etc. And really it's helping an entrepreneur at any stage that they're at. So we'll help anyone that comes through the door that has an idea, or who's been in business for 10 years or longer and needs to grow their business, or formalize their business, etc. We did a rehaul of our technical assistance program last year, and we decided to really create this application process for the entrepreneurs. However, with COVID, we've kind of been just going with the flow with that, and just really just helping entrepreneurs where they're at. And we're excited to really kind of get this continuing to go. And you can go to the next slide. So Lanzate Houston, so this is our annual business pitch competition that's specifically in Spanish. We started this in 2017, and so this year so we have our next competition that's going to be coming up. Applications actually launched September 2nd. So this is a competition for any entrepreneur who is a startup entrepreneur. So if you have a product, if you have a service, those are 2 different categories. They have an opportunity to pitch for cash prizes. So we have up to $10,000 in cash prizes. But we also have in-kind prizes from some of our partners that include, it could be an iPad, it could be access to a marketing expert, access to a financial expert. But this is a really great opportunity for any entrepreneur who is wanting to learn a little bit more on how to actually pitch their business, and pitch to business experts throughout Houston. So it's a really great opportunity to get that exposure, and to really just kind of launch your business. Some of our auxiliary services, we do workshops year round, various different topics. They're usually taught by industry specific experts. We do them in English and Spanish, and it usually happens all throughout Houston. Everything has been virtual since then, but we really focus in Houston and the Pasadena area. Our other service that we have on our East Aldine campus is we have a shared commercial kitchen. And this is available for any entrepreneur that's wanting to work in a commercial kitchen space. So we can help them get access to that. And it's really an opportunity for any food businesses to either test their products or to really grow their food business, whether it's a catering business, a product, a food truck, etc. And what has changed since then? So a lot has changed since COVID, but everything is virtual now. So we wanted to make sure that we were still accessible to everyone, but so all of our classes are virtual, workshops are virtual, all of our coaches, our business coaching and technical assistants, and then we are also doing Lanzate Houston all virtual this year too. So that's something that we decided to do for the rest of the year. All fees have actually been waived for the entire year. So we aren't actually charging for any of our classes, any of our coaching, because again, we wanted to make sure that businesses are being taken care of and that we're serving Houston, and we're making sure that money is staying in the pockets of entrepreneurs. We're also not hosting any networking events as well. Again, everything virtual. And then something else that we're really excited to talk about more is our food industry recovery program that we launched specifically in response for COVID. And Nini is going to help us and talk about that.
Great. So as we wait for Nini to come back on the screen, Ashley, thank you so much for that great presentation. Nini, it's your turn.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So like Ashley said, I'm really excited to talk about our food industry recovery program. This program was created in partnership with Hope Clinic's Bite of Hope program. And it's basically what we're trying to do is help all the food industry entrepreneurs out there who have been impacted by COVID-19. We know the food industry has been impacted a great deal. And so this program was created for participants to learn the importance of thinking new, something outside the box, incorporating healthy foods. They're going to have access to industry experts, where they're going to be able at the end of this to build out a strategic plan for recovery, for them to be able to recover they're in the food industry, improve focus and business mindset in order to pivot their business. A lot of our food industry entrepreneurs, obviously when things were being shut down, kind of panicked, and we saw the need for us to be able to help them with this different mindset of, okay, let's create something new, let's look at delivery, let's look at new marketing strategies, because all of this has changed now. And so this was created to be able to have access to these experts in these different industries so that they could recover a little quicker, right? And then also build out a plan so that, let's say something were to happen in the future, they'll be ready for them. They will be ready to go full force on something like that. In addition to the workshops, students are also going to be able to have access to technical assistance for up to 2 hours per week. And when they finish the class, they're going to have, like I mentioned, the new strategic plan. And so we're really excited because this is an opportunity for us to bring in our partners. We have really great partners that are going to be helping us with these experts on things like marketing, financial business models. There's going to be classes on food industry safety. We're going to have local officials on there talking about local food safety procedures and processes. And then obviously with our Bite of Hope chef, we're going to be able to create healthy options, healthy products. So this is ideal for anybody that has a food product, catering, has a restaurant, a beverage as well. So it doesn't just have to be a restaurant. It could be other different products that you sell, maybe at farmers markets, online, so anything in the food industry. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. So this is going to be our third cohort. We started in June, and this is going to be our first English cohort, so we're really excited. It starts on September 8th, and it runs for 4 weeks on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like Ashley mentioned, we have converted to virtual, so it's going to be virtual, and it's going to be an intense 4 weeks, like I like to say, because we're going to be digging deep. We're going to have homework. We're going to be getting into all the great things you're going to need for your recovery plan. It's going to be from 9 to 11 a.m. excuse me. And then at the end, you'll be graduating September 29th, where you'll be receiving, where participants will be receiving their certificates. So I wanted to talk a little bit of one of our great clients that participated in our first cohort, Mr. Sweets, USA Bakery and Catering. They've been part of our program since 2017. They've participated in our Grow Academy, and were also finalists in our Lanzate Houston competition last year. Most recently, they were, like I mentioned, one of the first in our food industry recovery program. And this is a family-owned business. The founder, Argelis Ortiz, immigrated with her family from Venezuela, and they started this business in 2015. They sell pastries and other Venezuelan delights, and they offer catering as well. Obviously, before COVID, her business was growing slowly, and then everything stopped, fortunately. But as soon as that happened, Argelis got with her family and said, we have to pivot, right? So we have to think of new ways of selling our products. So they created Easter kits, and they created Mother and Father's Day baskets for delivery, and that helped them obviously keep growing their business. And since they've graduated from the food industry recovery program, they are now working full-time in the commercial kitchen, in our East Aldine commercial kitchen. They have been working on virtual cooking classes for kids. They started selling at new farmers markets and have been expanding their products. And also recently, I just learned they're in the process of purchasing a food trailer, which I'm really excited about. So with this program, they've been able to continue their growth and also change their mindset on let's keep moving forward. Even though we are going through a pandemic, let's move forward and see how we can grow our business. So here's our contact information. Please reach out to us. We have our email on here, our phone, and then our Facebook Entrepreneur Connection page is really where we put anything what's going on, not just within our organization, but any partner organizations, anything that we see that is important for entrepreneurs, any learning opportunities, any grant opportunities, funding, everything, we put it on there as soon as we see it so that you guys can have that information right away. And then you can also make an appointment with us. There is a link, our bit.ly link on there to make an appointment to talk to one of our small business coaches. If you have any questions about something, please feel free to make an appointment and we can talk to you virtually and help you out.
Wow, this is wonderful. Nini, that information will also be on our website. We're going to share, and I thank you so much for sharing that information. We're going to be asking you some couple of questions, but before we get started, Estella, you invited me to be one of the judges in one of those pitch competitions, and it was still one of the most memorable experiences ever to see these entrepreneurs who have a dream that they want to succeed, and then you guys are giving them the hope and the tools in order to succeed. So first of all, thank you all for making that this possible for those entrepreneurs. My first question is, I'm grateful that you guys have this food industry recovery program, because so many small businesses, especially restaurants, especially family-owned restaurants, did not have an online presence, did not have an online purchasing presence, nor did they have access to deliveries. So this is, one thing that we've been working a lot with our businesses here in the East End to get them up to date and up to speed with that. So thank you all for doing that. Now I know that the program that's coming up is from 9 till 11. And I know sometimes businesses that are in the food industry, they have to start serving at noon. So what has been some of the tips that you want to encourage businesses that are, do have a lunch program, but they should be a part of this? Any tips on how they can balance that?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's just so important is that if there's a will, there's a way. And we use that not only for the entrepreneurs, but also ourselves. So one of the things when we first started virtually is saying that we were not just 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. Our coaches from the very beginning are available to you as needed. So they're available evenings, and try not to too late, right? But we are available evenings. We also have coaches that are available on weekends as well. Their schedule is very flexible because we expect them to be as flexible as entrepreneurs. So I would say don't get discouraged. This class is during that time frame, but it is basically just our coaching in a cohort style. So if you can't attend the class, you can still access the individualized coaching. And that will help you just as much to be able, and that goes as fast as you can or as slow pace as you need it to be. So don't be discouraged if you can't make the class. The coaches do know that information and are able to assist you one-on-one either way.
Great. And I've got one of the questions from one of the attendees is, are there minimum requirements for business to participate in any of the programs? Like, do they have to have been in business for so long, et cetera?
You can take that, Nini.
Okay, I was gonna say, for our launch class, we want you to be, if you have an idea or you just started your business. For the grow class, we do want you to have been in business and generated some type of, you've been in the market for a certain amount of time so that we can help you keep growing the business. For the Kaufman, there is no, you can have just an idea or you can have been in business for a certain amount of time. There is no limit. And for this food industry recovery program, what we're looking for is businesses that are going to be able to have some type of product already developed, right? Because this is for them to either go to the market because they were about to go in the market, but the pandemic happened, or they're already in the market. So we're not looking for anybody that just has the idea or is in that research and development stage. We want them to already have something developed or already been in business.
Thank you. Another question here is, do you provide any support in any other languages other than English and Spanish?
That's a great question. We actually, in Gulfton is where we've seen that need. Unfortunately, we are also under our own kind of capacity issues which has been heightened due to COVID. So it has been something that we have talked about. I've also talked to some partners out in Gulfton. For instance, we talked to some refugees in Gulfton and their needs, but we haven't been able to make any kind of progress towards that. But we are able to provide other services that are not the small business services, but if you need support in our Gulfton locations, I know that they do a lot of translation services as well over there. For instance, our immigration program helps folks that may need help in Urdu. I know it's the one language they speak a lot in Gulfton. But for right now, our small business program is just English and Spanish.
Thank you so much. This is a great question. Is there like a knowledge bank, an area, I know you have mentors there and other folks like that, but is there a knowledge bank that entrepreneurs can access on their own if they are just curious about certain topics and don't want to participate in any of the programs?
I can, if you want, I could go. So yeah, there's lots of resources, especially here in the Houston area, that they can access. The Houston Public Library system is really great. They have an entrepreneur section on their website with tons of learning opportunities. Obviously, the SCORE and the Small Business Development Center have libraries on their websites as well, where they have pre-recorded sessions on there. I saw one from SCORE recently. It's awesome. So you could go on there, access the videos, and do the learning on your own. So those are some of the big resources I would tap into. And there's many more, obviously, but those are the three big ones.
Great. And I love the way you talk about pivoting. And this is the most important time to pivot and have different ways and do new types of style, like the example that you gave. That company had sweets and now they're making baskets for all of these different holidays, is to think outside the box and almost reinvent yourself and be prepared for this, because this could come again and there's just going to be another way to do that. What other success stories can you maybe share or some great experiences that one of your entrepreneurs have experienced?
So I have tons of success stories, but I do have one that I want to share because this is also during the pandemic. So one of our clients, he does personal training, a specific technique, and obviously he did one-on-one, and he worked with the older population. And of course, when the pandemic hit, they canceled on him, and then the gym shut down where he was doing his one-on-one sessions, and so he literally business stopped for him, and instead of just getting panicking, he started thinking, what do I do? And immediately jumped on Zoom, obviously, right, and virtual sessions. And he had never done really group sessions the way he's done it now. And so basically now he's providing tons of classes during the week, one-on-one as well through Zoom, but not only here locally, now he's able to reach people all around the world. So he has people in Australia logging in, and now his clientele has opened up because he was able to jump on there quickly and think about new classes and new services to offer. And now he's working on an app, which is something he hadn't thought about before because, he was just doing one-on-one in-person sessions, and now he's working on his app. So it's really exciting to see, entrepreneurs think outside the box and move forward during this time.
Great. Ashley, do you have a success story that you want to share?
Yeah, actually, it's one of the recent ones too, and it's one of your clients, Nini.
Oh.
So Nini has been helping this entrepreneur. She is actually a domestic, survivor. So she was able to really just like grow her business. She was able to she's able to move on to a new home. She's selling her home and everything with her 3 kids. And so it's been it's one of my favorite stories because it's a great story not also for the client, but with a partner. We've been working with Hawk, Houston Area Women's Center. And we've been working great together to really just help survivors to be able to become financially secure and be able to, have your own business and, get out of situations that were not safe. And so I think that's one of my favorite stories. I won't give too much information because the client
update on her.
Yeah.
I give you an update on her. So she received her DBA, which is something very small, but it was such a big step for her because she's been doing this, but she hadn't been able to do it to register her business properly. And she sent me a picture, and she was so grateful that she was able to do it even through mail. She's like, I did it, I mailed it, I did everything, and it was such a big success for her. And now she's ready for that next step in her business, and she's so excited.
And for those of you who don't know what HAWK is, can one of you tell us what that means, stands for?
Oh, so HAWK is Houston Area Women's Center, which is one of the local domestic violence shelters and centers here in Houston that are able to help any type of issue, domestic violence issue, and they have a shelter as well.
It's a wonderful organization and so needed right now in our time. Estella, do you have a success story that you want to share?
Yeah, I have, being part of the program from the very, very beginning and kind of starting it, the ones that have been with us for the whole time kind of really are close to my heart. And this one has a bit of an East End tie as well. So Lorena is one of our entrepreneurs that was with us from the very beginning. She has a bakery. She started with baking out of her home. And you kind of see a lot of the same trends that we around immigrant entrepreneurs. So what happens is they're learning how to do entrepreneurship in a different country. So one of the very first things we start doing is kind of educating them about how to do it properly and formally, as we like to say. So she was working out of her home, and then we got her into a commercial kitchen. And then while she kind of did like all of our pieces of the program. She did our very first classes at Ripley House. So she was a Ripley House student, finished her classes there. And then she went into an intense business planning coaching process where she completed a business plan and was able to get funding. So for me, I focus a lot on economic impact, and every time an entrepreneur gets funding, that's access to capital that an entrepreneur of color is getting, and that's huge for us. It's huge for our economy. So she was able to get funding, and she was opened up her very first store, her brick and mortar bakery. It's called Million Cakes. And most recently, her success last year was she was able to open her second location in the East End. So she has a location off of Harrisburg, closer to the Port of Houston. And so we had a ribbon cutting for her there. We were able to get her some media exposure and just help her kind of promote her success. But again, this is all successes that the entrepreneur has in themselves. If anything, we're just like a support system, a conduit between each other and also other trusted partners. Our partner network is huge. And because we vet them, then our entrepreneurs really trust them when we tell them like, oh, you can trust this company to do your marketing plan. You can trust this lawyer. It's really a huge part of the work that we do. And again, the entrepreneur is doing the hard work. We're just supporting, and we get to share in their success.
I love all these stories. This is wonderful. I've got another question here is, do you guys support entrepreneurs in legal processes like creating a corporation, a trademark, and copyright?
No, we don't do the actual legal process, but we can connect you to a lawyer. We can connect you to those resources, make sure you're getting the right information, and then, helping fill out applications and stuff like that. But no, we don't actually do that.
Wonderful. I know you have some classes coming up soon, and $500 is, $50 or $100 is so a great price point, but you're waiving that. So thank you all for doing that right now. So we're also going to put the classes starting on our website, etc. But can you remind everybody when the next class is? I think September, the first week of September?
Yeah, so the first classes actually start September 12th. But applications are open until the 28th. I'm just remembering this off the top of my head. They close on the 28th. So we have our Grow class. So that is in Spanish. It's for anyone who has an existing business. We're kind of tying in some recovery aspects from into that class as well. So this is for any industry, any business who is existing and just kind of needs that extra support during COVID-19. And then we have our Kaufman class, Kaufman Fast Track. So that is for, it's really for anyone in the idea phase or any just startup entrepreneur in general, but that's in English. And then we have the food industry recovery class, and applications, I believe, also end on the 28th. Yes. And then those classes, Nini already kind of talked about that a little bit more, but that will be through all of September for those 4 weeks.
Great. It's free, so please register for these. If not, share this information with anybody else that will benefit from this opportunity. In closing, is there anything that we missed that you wanted to remind, or any words of encouragement that you would like to tell entrepreneurs or anyone out there? And we'll start with you, Ashley.
Yeah. So I'll just say that, I think with everything going on with COVID, we're still here. We're still here to support. That's how we always have been. Things just look a little bit different now, but the team is doing great. Everyone is, staying positive, taking care of their mental health. I would say, if anything, just please take care of your mental health. Right now, just check in on everyone, making sure that everyone's okay, physically, but also just mentally, because, this is a mental game too. So I'll end with that, and then I'll pass it over.
Great words of advice. Nini, any words to close?
So to echo what Ashley said, please, it's hard times, especially for entrepreneurs. So making sure you and your family are okay, and then focusing on your business. So please reach out to us. Our program is here, and there's so many other resources in the community as well. They reach out, even if it's a question that you feel is not, it's insignificant, just reach out and ask. It's really important to ask those questions because we can maybe help you guide you in the right direction. So don't worry, we're here and we understand the situation. So yeah, reach out.
Great. And Estella, any closing words?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to go back to that question from the person that asked, if I don't want to enroll in a class or a program, is that okay? And I want to say it's definitely okay if you don't want to enroll. I know sometimes that can be a lot. You think you can't take on anymore, but I don't want you to go at this alone. There's no need. There's definitely, like Nini had mentioned, the Houston Public Library, SCORE, SBDC, but it can be overwhelming. And if you try to do a Google search, yes, that will help you, but it can be quickly overwhelming. So my closing statement is just contact us just for a guidance. You do not have to enroll in a class. You don't have to enroll in coaching. That same link that we shared earlier, we'll make sure to share that again. And even with that, just do what we call an office hour session. You don't have to enroll in anything. Just call in and ask us, and we can help guide you. And because you don't want to do this entrepreneurship journey alone, and there's no need to.
You guys, it's free services, office hour with them, and get the guidance you have. And who knows, maybe this year you're not available to do the program, but when COVID ends, maybe you'll be able to do it at that time, because you'll get their advice, get the right employees, and give you some free time to take these important classes that are here for you to help you grow. Thank you so much, ladies, for this wonderful, important information. We hope that people will share this knowledge with others that they're in need. But I wanted to close by also reminding everyone that this Friday, August 14th at 2:30, we're going to have a relief for small businesses. For those of you who don't know, the City of Houston passed a small business economic relief program, and there's about $15 million available to help local businesses survive challenges created by COVID-19. Each business, there's a maximum that you can receive of up to $50,000, and that's really can go a long way. It'll help you with payroll, accounts payable, rent, mortgage, PPE for employees, marketing, and so much more. So it's a free program. There'll be information down below, but go to our website, eastonchamber.com, and register and hear from someone from the City of Houston and also from the Houston Business Development, Inc. Thank you again, ladies, so much. I wish you all a great week, and stay strong and stay healthy out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.